What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the CND podcast. Once again, me and Ian, and today we are going to be looking over and kind of talking about how we feel the Hurricanes will do in this upcoming season.
Yep, we'll be looking at who's going to rise, who's going to fall, all that good stuff. Looking at individual players, how we think we're going to place in the division. Yeah, all that good stuff. All right, so do we want to go ahead and get started on the basics? Like, who do you think is going to be the point leader?
Let's jump right into it.
All right. So my prediction for the point leader in 2022 or 2020, 2021 is I think it's going to be Sebastian Aho. That is a very easy pick. He can sauce it when he needs to. He can put the puck in the back of the net. He's been the point leader for the last 3 years now. I just think it's even at this point. How about you?
This is biased, and I'm wearing this jersey right now, but I gotta say Svech, man. What? Oh, God. What do I gotta say? It's Andrei Svechnikov. It's pretty obvious that, last season, big season for him, a big breakout season, and I think he could be the Canes, point leader this season.
Oh, yeah. No, I could definitely see that. And if he doesn't do it this season, by next season, he definitely will be number one. There's no denying that he is going to be the star. I take the ring.
It's going to be a battle between him and Aho. And, you can't mark out Dougie Hamilton still.
That would be incredible.
I think he was 4 points below being point per game before he got injured. So, I wouldn't leave him out of the conversation. I think he'll be a good 4 or 3, but
Oh yeah, no, he should be able to get about 40 to 45 points this season. I think maybe even 50 in a short season like this. You never know.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so that brings me to the next question. Do you think Svechnikov will lead the team in goals, or do you think it's going to be Aho again? As we know, Aho had a really breakout season with his goal scoring, going from about, what did he get, 25 last year to 38 this season? So do you think that's going to repeat?
I really don't know.
Oh, yeah, no, it's a tough one because it's either going to be Svech or Aho. There's no denying that part. But if I had to pick...
hey, Ian, be nice. Morgan Geekie still exists, my friend, okay?
You are right. Hey, Morgan Geekie is the leader in goals per game. I do have to respect that fact. You are right. But I think Svechnikov is going to get more points because he's going to be the finisher on that line. Whether he's paired with Aho or Trocheck, he'll be the finisher on that line. So I think he's going to actually outscore Aho.
I don't think the Hurricanes would ever take Svech off the first line. They did it against Boston, probably just to get their second line going. Because I think really all our scoring in the first couple of games against Boston was just Svech, Aho, and Turbo.
It depends on the opponent, right? Because if it's a deeper team like Tampa, then you might see Svechnikov on the second line. But if we're playing like a Florida who's very top heavy, you're probably going to see Svech and Aho and Tabo together the entire game.
Yeah,
it all depends. So who's your pick for the goal leader?
I'm gonna say Aho. Him and Teravainen, they're just that big 1-2 punch. It's hard to beat them.
Oh yeah, no, I totally
get New York,
Yeah, Aho's really good at finding the dirty areas. Svech has more of the flashy goals, but Aho's really good at just picking them up on the crease and doing all that good stuff. So I think we're both in agreement here. But do you think Teravainen will be the assist leader for the team?
Oh, there's no one that could assist more goals than him.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
I'm pretty sure he had 48 assists last season.
He had
that's bizarre, man.
He doesn't score a lot, but he helps at a lot of goals.
He could. He's got a good shot. He just doesn't use it a lot because he's an excellent passer.
Yeah, exactly. He's very much a pass first guy. And I don't know.
Something that the Hurricanes first line excels in is zone entry and scoring that, because Aho gets it in, finds a way to get it to Teravainen, and Teravainen finds someone who's open and they get a shot. And that's a big way the Hurricanes get a lot of their goals on offense.
And all three of them are excellent passers. So if they can't bring it in, they'll just pass it over the other guy. He'll bring it in. It's easy as that. And on Honestly, there's an argument to be made. Maybe Teravainen can sneak in and become the top scorer, like point wise. I don't think he's gonna get the most goals, but he
No,
the
I
most.
don't think he get the most goals, but I do think he could put up like a good amount of goals if he started using his shot more.
Yeah, it just depends on if he's gonna be like say they're all on the same line, but he's always the first assist. He might get more points than the other two. If that makes sense. You know what I mean? If he's gonna
Yeah.
factor into every single goal that line produces, you just never know. It's gonna be between the three of them, and it should be a very very exciting year. See if they play together the entire time or not.
Now, I got a question for you. Who do you think is going to be the best defenseman this upcoming season?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, but who do you think is going to be the best defenseman in this upcoming season?
Best defenseman. It's hard to
Yeah,
not go Dougie Hamilton with this one after the season he had
yeah.
last year. I love Slavin, but as good as Dougie is, he's hard to beat. If he's anywhere close to last season's form, then he's set.
Oh,
You.
if he's anywhere close to his form last season, then we could, I'm not going to get ahead of myself and say we could beat Tampa in a series because I don't really think we could. I think we could keep it close, but I don't think we could win it.
Yeah, and it'll
I
be
think
very
we could. I
interesting
think we could
to
get a
see.
6 or 7 game series against them, but I don't think we could win it.
And the thing is, there are just so many factors with Tampa right now, how they're still over the salary cap, that we don't know what their roster is going to look like,
Yeah.
after the trade deadline. Maybe even opening night, it's going to look way different.
Also, I got
Think,
another question, and this is something I was going to ask, like on the account on the Instagram story or make a post about it, but I didn't think about that. How would you feel if the Hurricanes brought back Eric Holla?
I personally, I don't think I'd be a big fan of it, just because he's kind of lost his role. I mean, he's more of like a second line tweener type of guy, and we have Trocheck to fill that up. He wouldn't be good in a defensive role with Jordan Stahl because Jordan Stahl's already taken that. And then, you don't want to have Holla on your fourth line. And obviously, I don't think he's, the type of player to be on your first line. So I don't think we should get him back personally. But I see why there would be an argument for him. I get that.
Yeah. Another thing, also, and this is one that could have a pretty good discussion. Who do you think could be like a big breakout player this season for the Canes? Like someone who will surprise everybody.
It's kind of the obvious answer, so I don't know how much of a surprise it'd really be, but I think Martin Necas, he's got to be in that discussion. I mean, we saw it with Svechnikov last year, his jump from his first year to his second year. As Necas gets more used to the game and he's able to utilize his speed, kind of get it up with his mind, I think he's going to be a phenomenal scorer for us this year. If he can get some consistent line mates, I think he'll be set. How about you? Who would you go as your breakout player for 2021?
Besides Natchez, who obviously that's an obvious answer. I'm trying to think of somebody like other than Natchez that could have a good breakout season. Trocheck, somebody that could have a breakout season. He could get back to that well, it's not an 82 game season, so he wouldn't get like 75, but
scoring at that pace is definitely
yeah.
that'd
It's a
be huge.
75-point pace. Somebody else. Who's a defenseman that could really break out? Hayden Fleury could have another breakout year.
There's a chance Brady Shea reaches his potential if he's paired.
Brady Shea and Jake Gardner, they both still gotta wow me. I'm not very fond of those two guys, but
Yeah, but they are gonna have a breakout, and that helps. If either one of those guys, could find the consistency that we signed them for, then hell, be a damn good team. Maybe Fogel. He had a big year 2018, but maybe Fogel, really steps up.
I mean, he's gonna be on a good line most likely with Jordan Stahl and Jesper Fast. So
Fast. It depends on who we see step up into that second line winger. Because we basically have the five set where we have SAT and then Trocheck Nachos, but there's a little bit of a fight for that line. Maybe we see Foss go up there. Fogel, Niederreiter is obviously the favorite.
I think it's gonna be Niederreiter because
me too.
To be fair, and I'm not saying this politically. Okay, I have nothing wrong with Ryan Single being a Trump supporter. For anyone listening, I just do not like him as a hockey player. I don't think he's a great fit with the Canes. He can't really get into. He can't really crack our top six, and he's not a bottom six player. You know,
it's just not a good fit, and I think he'd be good trade bait later in the year.
And once again, nothing political. I don't like him hockey-wise. I don't give a fuck about your political position. If you like Trump, you like Biden, I don't care. I just don't like him as a hockey player. Wait, what?
I'm sorry, I cut out. That's my bad.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
But I was saying that, hey, at least his lacrosse goal is looking pretty nice. The video from practice. And that's another possibility. You know, Brendan Moore, he thinks a little bit differently. So maybe in a season like this, he might actually end up scratching one of Niederreiter and Dzingel and kind of have them flip back and forth. Neither one of those guys really fit the fourth line role. But until one of them earns the second line spot, I could see him just like switching them in and out, you know?
Yeah.
All right, so next question. Kind of who we're talking
something
about.
That's going to be big this season is the trade deadline. For us, at least, it's going to be it. Obviously, the Canes are probably going to be buyers.
They're top options.
I don't know really because of the draft. Sorry, I just burped, but I don't know because of the recent draft success they've had that they're really going to want to get rid of their pick.
I definitely think they're going to be leaning more towards getting, trading players. Like, I think Dzingel is definitely not going to be here at the trade deadline.
And once again, nothing political.
Hell, we don't even know what's going to happen with Dougie Hamilton. Like, if some bad goes, wrong in the discussions and they might want to flip Hamilton.
Something I'm worried about with Dougie Hamilton is the fact that you remember last season, like going into the the series against the Rangers, he got injured like a couple of days before it started. The thing I'm worried about is that wasn't a leg injury. He injured something else. And that's what I'm worried about, is that I don't want to say he's starting to become injury prone, but he's starting to get to that point. Like he's getting close to it. He's very slowly inching towards there, and it's not a good thing. Not at all. For someone that we want to be our Norris defenseman, him injuring like two things in one season is not very good.
Yeah, and the broken leg, obviously, I don't know the chances of that being like a long-term thing, but like what you said, they can't disclose the injury, so we don't know if he like holds something that could be re-aggravated easily, right? So, man, I don't even know. That's probably why we didn't look at that.
Not to mention the camp's only 10 days, so. Like, there's going to be a lot of...
all the injuries are definitely going to happen. I mean, we saw that in the NFL this year, where all the players didn't have any preseason games, and they got a bunch of ACL tears and all that. It was rough stuff, but... So... On a slightly lighter topic, but they just didn't really...
But it wasn't really...
Year. Yeah.
Pesci's fault for complete mess the entire year.
Yeah.
He didn't have a stable D partner the entire year. I think he played with Gardner probably a little bit, with Hayden Fury a little bit most likely, with Brady Shea.
Yeah, his most...
Pesci, Shea, and then Hayden Fury with Jake Gardner on that third line.
Yeah.
Which, pretty good defense. It's just, I wouldn't...
Oh, yeah. I think
I don't really want
better than last year's.
Carrying defenseman making, like, what is Gardner making, like, $4 million a year?
Yeah, just about 4.
Like 2 more. Yeah, no,
Rod rolls him, so it's not too bad because he's still getting the same amount of minutes he would. But yeah, no, I get that. I get that style of thinking. I also think Pesci kind of plays better off of offensive defensemen, and that's what Shea was going to be. I mean, you saw him with Falk. That was probably his best season, 2018-19, when he was playing with
and
Justin
Pesci is gonna. And when Pesci, you said that Pesci's like just kind of like a sit and wait guy.
Yeah.
Brady Shea reminds me of like a 5-year-old that just drank coffee for the first time. He's just always skating around. So if he goes ahead, he messes up. Brett Pesci's just back there to clean up the mess.
Yeah, and that's kind of what made Slave and Hamilton.
That's kind of like all of our. That's kind of like all our lines, actually.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it, and
except for our first line, because Slavin he'll just charge you and get the puck from you.
Yeah, Slavin's just incredibly intelligent with no matter what he does. But what was I saying? Yeah, but Shea's like a very aggressive skater, and last year on Pesci's pairing, when he was with Edmondson, he'd be the shoot first guy, and Brett Pesci has an awful shot. That's not what
I wouldn't say awful. It's not.
You remember him talking about it?
I wouldn't say it's awful.
But when he's the shoot first defenseman on that pairing, that's not going to do him much justice, because then you have Edmondson going back trying to stop a 2-on-1, right? But if you have Shea, who's most likely going to be the guy that shoots the puck down there trying to get a tip, then Pesci is. Yeah, I think that pairing will work out a lot better than the experiments Rod tried. And honestly, Fleury Gardner play off really well with each other.
Yeah.
That's who. Well, no. Okay, sorry. For my bounce back pick, I'm gonna go with Nino Niederreiter. I think he's finally gonna get his scoring touch back.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was solid last year. He just could not put the puck in the net for the life of him. And I think it'll come back. I don't think it'll be like he was.
Yeah, that was important. Yeah. Jordan Stahl could be another bounce back player. He could get his scoring touch back too.
Definitely.
It's kind of ironic. I looked at like Nino Niederreiter and Jordan Stahl's charts, and if you look at their advanced stats charts, they're like similar players. Like Nino's pretty good defensively.
Yeah.
He's kind of like a budget. He's kind of like a Walmart version of Jordan Stahl.
Yeah.
And on a better contract per se. Which also, I gotta say, I don't think Jordan Stahl's contract is good, but it's definitely not the worst one on the Canes, considering what we get from him. Obviously, paying like $6 million for 3 years for a third liner isn't great, but it's not the worst contract we have, in my opinion.
And that's the thing; it just kind of counts. Like there are no really terrible contracts on the Hurricanes. I'd point to Stalls just because of the length of the contract, but I think like performance to value, it's probably Gardner for right now.
Yeah, or like Brady Shea.
Yeah, Brady Shea. Well, yeah, because the reason I'd lean more toward Gardner or Stahl is probably just because they're a little bit older.
Terry Ryan's got a steal of a contract.
Yeah, that's the thing. It kind of evens out when you look at how many good contracts the Hurricanes have on their team. I mean, Teravainen and Slavin and Pesci, for that matter, just steals in long term. Aho's got good value for his contract. Hamilton's contract's really good considering how he's playing, but obviously only a year long. All right, so my next question is, who do you think is going to be the most disappointing Hurricane this year?
Considering who was disappointing for me last year, I don't know. Okay, disappointing.
Like kind of like compared to last season, like they're going to fall off a little bit.
I can't really say anyone on the defense because they all have the potential to be good when they have a stable because all of our lines they fit each other well, but it's probably gonna end up being someone on like the offense, but I can't really name anybody. I feel like I can't really say the goalies either because not having a stable defense is really what made Reimer and Morales not have that great of years.
I mean, even then, Reimer's numbers were still really, really good.
Oh yeah, no. Reimer's chart in that and his just like basic stats, they were good.
Yeah.
Even though I think I referred to him in a post as a walking casket, he's still a pretty good goalie. a good backup if Mrazek,
Yeah. Then I think Mrazek's definitely going to be looking for a bounce back year as well.
Oh, yeah,
But he
right. I
off
forgot
the
to say
crowd,
Mrazek's a bounce
so
back year.
the chances of
Oh,
him
right, yeah. Who
off a little
who
bit.
could have
And
who
really,
could
like
be
the only names I
disappointing?
can think of, because a lot of the guys, they didn't really, other than
I mean,
Hamilton and
we
Svechnikov,
have a
nobody really had
young
like a
team, so
career
it's
year.
kind
You
of
know what I
hard
mean?
to be like disappointed.
Versus 2018-19 when it seemed like everybody had one. Yeah.
I'm still trying to think of somebody that could be like potentially disappointing. Maybe Jesper Fast could be a disappointing signing. I don't think he will, but I'm just could. Uh, Ryan Zing was going to be a disappointing player
Brandon
because
Strome.
he's
So
probably not
his
going to get like
production will
any.
definitely go down.
I mean,
Uh,
Zing was going to be a disappointing player, especially if he doesn't play at all, which is something that's looking like a possibility.
yeah, very true as well. Okay, this will not be a popular answer, but I think it's going to be Dougie. I don't think he's going to be bad this year, but I don't think he's going to score at like a point per game pace like he was last
Oh
year.
yeah, it's going to take. I mean, he's going to need some time to get used to the team again. Uh,
Yeah,
although he did get what? Sorry, I keep burping. Yeah, although he did get 5 games against Boston.
yeah. I mean, for
Still
the
got to
most
get used
he's
to the
played
team.
in like he's only played 5 games in the last 10 months or so. He's not going to be the exact same Dougie that we saw last year. I still think he'll be very, very good and maybe even a Norris contender. But
Let's see.
so we're going with either Foster or Hamilton for this.
Yeah, my picks. I don't think Jesper Fast is really going to be disappointing. I'm just saying somebody that could be disappointing. Someone I know that
Yeah.
will most likely 100% be disappointing is Ryan Dzingel because he's probably not even going to play.
Yeah, he's not going to be a mainstay
He's
in the
going to
lineup.
be our 13th forward most likely.
Yeah. Well, and hell, you never know. He and Trocheck had decent chemistry in the playoffs, so maybe, just maybe, he'll finally do what we signed him to do.
Yeah,
But
I think Nino Niederreiter is going to be our second line winger.
yeah, no, me too. Most likely, that'll probably be what happens.
Also, another thing, I this is a little off topic, but I looked through my old posts and I realized that. Oh no, it wasn't old post, but I was looking through my notes from like a couple months ago, and I realized that when I was doing like what I thought the lines would be for the season, I had our bottom pairing being Jake Gardner and Brady Shea, and I didn't see an issue with it somehow. And then I realized that would be a catastrophe.
Yeah, they're way too similar players to really do that. So yeah, I don't I don't know. The Shea Vatanen pairing worked out a lot better than I thought it would. They weren't great, but they weren't like a
They
liability.
weren't great because Sammy Vatanen just does not play the body enough, and I think that's something that the Hurricanes really like. I think that's one of the big reasons why he didn't get brought back. That and
Yeah,
we already had 6, and I mean, to be fair, we probably have like 8 NHL ready defensemen if you count like Jesper Sahlgren and Jake B. And we just have so many. We just
yeah.
have
There's a
so
lot of
many
depth.
guys that can make the defense.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
Now, off the
This is
topic of
kind of more.
players, let's just get into the team overall. Where do you think the Hurricanes are going to finish after 56 games?
I feel like this is probably everybody's answer, but I mean, it's just so right. It's going to be second place in the Central, right behind Tampa Bay and probably either Dallas or Columbus right behind us. I mean, I don't see how we can finish any lower than 2. I mean, we might give them a run for their money for 1, but it's still Tampa. So it's
I'd say that we could get 3 in case Columbus. Like I'll never count Columbus out, especially after what they did last season. After losing
yeah,
like their entire first line,
yeah,
and we were still good.
Oh yeah, no, Columbus is definitely gonna make the playoffs. That's a no doubt.
I mean, yeah, I think the division's gonna end in Tampa. This is just like the playoff teams, but Tampa, us, ooh, Dallas, Columbus.
Yeah,
I think Columbus will be like kind of like the wild card, I guess.
yeah, and they'll get to play Tampa again in the first round for the third year straight.
Yay!
And I mean that matchup, but people call it a cakewalk of the division, but those matchups are all going to be tough because all four of the top teams are really like hard hitting, grind the other team away, but can also make big plays type of teams.
It's gonna be
I
tough
mean,
when we got to go up against Tampa.
yeah, and even a first
If
round
we
matchup
even
with
make it
Dallas.
past the first round, there's still a potential that we don't even make it past the first round.
Yeah, because I mean, you get to play a team like Dallas, or how maybe even Nashville bounces back, and they can be dangerous if they're at full strength with Roman Yossi in
Actually,
there.
the Chicago Blackhawks are gonna win the cup. Thank you. That number one goalie tandem of all time. Thank you.
Yep, Malcolm Subban and Colin Delia, they got it. Yeah, Hawks.
I feel so bad for Chicago.
I, f- I feel bad for Subban. He's getting thrown to
Oh,
the.
his career's gone.
Yeah, he's a backup
Because
for goalie.
there's not even a good defense in front of him, so it's not like
Yeah,
having bad goalies on that team is like okay, like oh we can still win. No, the defense is garbage.
yeah.
No offense, any Blackhawks fans that are listening. I love the team, but it's not gonna end well for you guys.
But I don't know. They do have Hurricanes legend Lucas Walmart, so he could put up a 100-point season or something, right?
Yeah, he'll
All right. So
he'll be
just
right behind Morgan Geeky.
oh, of course, yeah. This is more kind of vague, but you want to go over like trophy picks for all the
I
major?
don't think any Hurricanes will win the trophies
No.
because the Norris Trophy voting does not count as actual being good at defense, as we've seen. Thank
Yeah.
God Slavin finally got some recognition last season, but
Well,
you know,
okay. I do think they got it right last year, giving it to Yossi over Carlson. I'll give them that. That's the first time in a while they've actually gotten the right choice. I
yeah,
mean,
but
when they gave it to Mark Giordano over Morgan Riley. That was just insane, right? Stuff like that.
I
So
mean Jordan Stahl is always going to be a dark horse for the Selkie.
yeah.
Somebody who could just surprise everybody and win it.
All right. So who is your pick for? We'll start. We'll kind of build our way up. Who's your pick for the Art Ross?
Are we saying like a Canes player we think that could win it or?
Oh no, like your pick from the entire league, but
Oh,
do
dude, I'm
you
gonna be
think a
honest
Canes player
with
is going to
you.
get nominated?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't pay attention to the league enough to know that. What even is the Art Ross? I don't
It's the leading scorer.
like
So it's
points.
just, yeah, it's just a statistical award. It's just most points.
Like Connor McDavid, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, you really can't go wrong with McDavid on that one. Uh, you know what? I'm gonna go Nathan McKinnon. I think McKinnon's gonna get the Art Ross this year if he can stay healthy along with this line. Um, who's your pick for the Rocket Richard, which is most goals?
Oh, hometown answer: Sebastian Aho.
It's
I don't think it will
a good
happen,
one.
but it's
Hey man,
you
hey,
gotta put
if
it out
it,
there. You
if
know,
it if it does happen, then you can say you called it all the way back in this.
I will be ecstatic. If keep this in mind for anybody listening to this podcast, if I predict that right, you're all hearing about it. Everybody's hearing about that. That's all it's gonna be on my page. I predicted this. That's all you're gonna
Oh
hear
no,
for like a
definitely you.
month.
Oh yeah, no, as you should. All right, my pick for this one. This is tough because I don't know. There's so many like factors go into it because Pasternak going to be injured and he won it last year. Ovechkin, he's always the favorite to win it, but I think it's going to.
Line Kyle Connor,
I think Austin Matthews is going to take it.
Austin Matthews.
He gets
Yeah,
to play a bunch of Canadian teams all year. He's going to light them up. There's no way he's not. Okay.
Next award.
Who was your pick for the Vezina, which is goalie of the year?
Not one of ours.
No, probably not.
Let's see. I think Connor Hellebuyck could win it again, but
Yeah.
because I'm gonna go with Connor Hellebuyck.
Oh yeah, no, I love Hellebuck. He's such a good goalie. But I'm gonna go with Robin Leonard. If he gets into enough games, he should. I think with that Vegas defense and he's just an outstanding goalie. I think he'll be able to nab it. Yeah, because last year it was Hellebuck, Rask, and Bishop. I think were the nominees. So yeah, I'll go outside the box a little bit. I'll give it to Leonard.
Next award.
Next award. I'm trying to think of the awards. Okay, Norris Trophy. Unbiased prediction here. We have two potential candidates, but
I'm not going unbiased. Dougie Hamilton. You can call me as biased as you want. It's Dougie Hamilton.
Oh, no. I mean,
it's my boy.
It is a safe pick. I mean, it really is. He's probably the third or fourth favorite.
Dark horse pick, Jacob Slavin.
Yeah. I think Slavin will definitely win that award at some point.
Jacob Slavin would win the award if the Norris Trophy voters actually gave a shit about defense.
Yeah, I mean, he's getting recognition.
I remember I saw a meme like the top 3 Norris, like the top 3 people for the Norris were just the top 3 defensive point scorers.
Yeah,
like that's all they care about.
That was pretty funny. Yeah, I mean, I get that, but I don't know. It depends on the one. Like, I don't think John Carlson can be called the best defenseman in the NHL. That one's obvious. But I mean, guys like Hedman and Yosu, who put up a shit ton of points. You never know.
That's the first time I've ever heard you swear. Like 2 episodes of the podcast.
This is also kind of a dark horse pick, I guess, but not really because he's still got a lot of hype. I think we're going to see the emergence of Quinn Hughes.
I'm leaving. Come on. Are you being like? Are you being serious?
And
I don't think Quinn Hughes could win.
Yeah, I'm completely serious. I think Quinn Hughes.
2 years into his career, you think he could win the Norris? I don't know, man. I don't think he could.
Quinn Hughes, I think at some point he definitely will. He's excellent. Kel McCarr is going to win multiple Norrises for sure, but I think Hughes is going to get it this year.
Are there any other awards? Selke, right. It's obviously going to be Patrice Bergeron. We can just move on. It's always Patrice Bergeron. Selke winner for the next 10 years.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Selke? Yeah. It might be Patrice, but I don't even know who my pick for the Selke is. Gotta think about that a little bit. Yeah, I want to say Sean Couturier, but I can't see him giving it to him 2 years straight.
Names up another player that you consider a dark horse. As I said, Jordan Staal. Always.
Staal's a dark horse. He always gets a decent amount of votes. He's usually top 10 in voting. I think Cirelli could be
actually gonna win it. Patrick Laine.
Oh yes, Patrick Laine is this outstanding defense, right? You never know.
Funny is I don't know how Aho got a Selke vote. His chart is so bad.
Yeah,
it's so dark red.
Yeah, I think Teravainen should be more in that discussion, but they usually like the favorite
should be more in that discussion too.
Yeah, definitely. Stretch definitely has more of a two-way game. All right, so this is the big one. Who do you think is going to win the Hart Trophy? That's the league MVP.
I'm gonna give a full league answer, and who I think could win it on the Canes if the Canes player were to be in the talk for it. I'd say league-wise, league-wise, I'll go Connor McDavid because you can't. Well, as you said, you can't go wrong with Connor McJesus.
No, you can't. He's a really, really good pick.
And for the Canes pick, it's Dougie Hamilton. The Dougie Hamilton.
Dougie for the heart.
Yeah. That was like Kane's pick.
Yeah. I know what you mean. All right. So my pick personally, I'm going to go with McKinnon again, just because they usually give it to the person with the most points, and that's what I think McKinnon will finish with. But if I had to pick someone from the Canes, I'd pick Svechnikov.
Yeah, Svechnikov would be my other.
He's a young star. He's on the come up. NHL might want to market him a little bit. If they see the opportunity, they might give it to him. You know. Also, just some breaking news here on the podcast. Mikael Granlund is re-signed with Nashville on a 1-year, $3.7 million contract.
Oh.
I know that was a target for a lot of Canes fans, but yeah, he just re-signed with Nashville.
I'm not believing it until Puck Report says it.
That's where I just read it from.
No, 42 seconds ago.
Yeah. Dang, that's kind of surprised because he didn't really fit in there, but we'll get to see future Hurricane Mikael Granlund a bunch. Hell, maybe he might come to us at the deadline. You never know. All right, so you got anything else to talk about, or you think that's a wrap for this episode?
Is that a good place to end it off?
I think so. Good. The disappointment of hearing Granlund got signed by somebody else.
Yeah, I think that's that's a good way to end it off. Let's end it here before we get the disappointment that somebody like that.
That we find out Dougie just got traded to Boston.
Dougie gets traded. Not back to Boston. No. Make sure he never ends up having to go back to Boston. But yeah, I think that's a pretty good way to end it off. Anybody watching, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays,
stay safe.
and we'll see you guys probably during the World Juniors. We'll probably record an episode on a break day in the World Juniors.
Good to me. All right, signing off.
See ya.